carry on as it rise from the rake. It's cool and calm and collect. Long John River as a pole vault fence. Live and direct. Never show your devils respect. Never let them see you swear.
Back when I almost lost myself, that time I almost lost my head. The shadows ran across this bed, close confidence it cost
and fled. Every finger singled me out for the blame. That time I almost jumped in front of a train. Been walking on the edge of a knife. If I die, who's gonna live this life? Die. Down, step back, breathe in. Armadillo grow a brand new skin. Boat capsized, develop fins. I took my sorrow and I made a new hymn. Calm down, step back, breathe in. Armadillo grow a brand new skin. Boat capsized, develop fins. I took my sorrow and I made a new hymn. I took my sorrow and I made a new hymn. Never show your devils respect. Never let them see you swear. I wear my pain as a jacket. I wear my pain as a jacket. I lean back, never slacking. I lean back, never slacking. I endure and lost 10 pounds in the back. Cold first day in my conversation frame. Stress go high like a tower. Grief goes deep like a valley. A real smile is scarce like a tiger. Fakeness spread all around me. But I'm alive, you see. I'm alive, you see. I'm alive, and for that I give thanks.
Hi, mate.
Hello, love. How's it going?
Zoom clap out there, did it?
Yeah, trials and tribs of a lockdown life, mate.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I threw a shameless ad for our new release. We've released a record, Ashley.
I mean, we're getting there.
Something we only get to say once every 2 years. We've got a new record out.
That halcyon biannual release has finally come around.
Mate, we're less. I don't even know what we're less regular than. Pretty much everything.
Anyway, we got some sort of tiny cat. That's what we've got. Munchkin cat. That's the size of our catalogue, but it's growing.
I mean, currently we've got the same number of releases as the Expendables film franchise.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm really gutted about? Expendables 4, which now isn't happening because there was no interest in the franchise. Do you know who was going to be the new add-on for the good guys in Expendables 4? It's Big Pierce.
Yeah.
They were bringing Brosnan in, and now it's not happening. Oh, it would have been beautiful. But yeah, so that intro track there was Calabash with Ode to Jazzman John, the first single from their debut EP, Behold a Black Wave, on our very own.
Bang, bang. Head over to Bandcamp, pick yourself up a copy. Why not get a t-shirt while you're at it? Hey, yeah, Matt, what's that t-shirt you're wearing?
Oh, yeah, so I've got the new Purple City flagship tee on. That's our little pint and fish crest. And if I backs to camera, there's the lovely, glorious new logo.
Oh, give us a 12.
Designed by the Don Jack Springbet. Look him up on Instagram, Jack Springbet Designs. Shout out Springers, all right, mate.
Good old Sprinkles.
Great man, the Sprinkles. Always great. So, yeah, how's your week been? Actually, don't answer that.
Rather not.
Let's not talk about our weeks. Let's talk about some other shit.
I survived, and you did too, and that's
Mate,
the main thing.
Possibly the worst 14 days on record ever for everyone involved. Yeah, I can't stress enough. Go and buy our new fucking record. We've had a terrible time. And all we really want to do is sell you records, so just go fucking buy one.
It's very nice as well. It looks lovely.
It's genuinely... In fact, I've got one over here. Hang tight. We might as well go full sales for the first 2 minutes.
Whip it out, go on. It's like getting a timeshare.
It's like when you buy one of those 3-bed properties in Spain with 18 other people. For those listening on Freds, we'll do audio descriptive because the video's only up on our YouTube. So yeah, this is our new release, Calabash, Behold a Black Wave.
Matthew is holding up a black record sleeve.
Yeah, actually, my camera is too low quality for you to see, but it's a spot varnish black on double black sleeve with a light reactive lavender vinyl. So it's kind of it's a nice lavender. When normally, if you hold it up to the light, it marbles wonderfully. It's pretty impressive. Pressed by the guys at Hoxton Vinyl. Shout out Marley and the team. That was literally, without doubt, the best service I've ever had from a record pressing plant. They were literally
in general,
ridiculously good end to end. Yeah, actually, to be honest, yeah, I've not been treated that well anywhere I've gone in my entire life, including Lowestoft's premier pub, Notley's.
Oh.
To be honest, the last time I went in there, a crackhead vomited on me.
I was about to say, someone exploded in vomit last time you were there. They asked you to clean it up.
Swings and rounders. I literally had to mop it up whilst the ambulance crew stretched him out. And it just had a McDonald's breakfast, which only served to make my job harder. In fact, I then went straight home and had to grade that fucking Black Haze video for you.
Oh dear.
That was another bad week.
Full of them. 2020's been full of bad weeks.
I mean, that was 2019, but 2020's had a lot of bad weeks. It really has been the worst year. So yeah, I mean, starting on that, let's talk about the current. On a previous episode, we spoke about Wayne Lineker saving Ibiza.
The great man.
The great man. The arsehole. Great man.
Not in his likability.
But it's now looking like even Wayne Lineker might not be able to save Ibiza. Talk us through it, Ashley. What's been burning you up this week?
As you know, Wayne has reopened the Ocean Beach Club, awful venue, but still he's reopened it, and he's serving people. People are coming over, they're flying in, having a lovely time. he's starting up a new series of like socially distanced photos, like him and just a bunch of spray tanned lunatics just posing with tiny glasses like this.
How do you do a line of coke from 2 meters?
Well, he's somehow managed to do it. I mean,
by God, has he cracked it?
Don't at me. But yeah, he must now be pretty upset based on the new news that not just mainland Spain are British tourists having to quarantine when they return. It's also the Canary Islands and the Balearics as well. So that includes Ibiza. Wayne will not be happy.
Jesus. This is worse than the plot of Escape to Athena.
Well, I mean, at least you can go to Athena and come back and have to quarantine.
Can you, though? Is that not part of... Are the Greek Isles not also been...
No, Greece is all right. I mean, Greece is the best country.
I mean, the only thing worse than escaping from Athena is escaping to it. I never understood that part of it. Like, have you seen Escape to Athena?
I haven't.
Jesus. I mean,
Do I need to?
it's one of the worst, best war films. Telly Savalas runs a whorehouse and wears a turtleneck for the whole film. Roger Moore plays a Nazi commandant. Richard Roundtree's running around dressed like Shaft, even though it's 1943 or whatever. It's fucking magical. It's like a war film that was made with the bits left over from other films, and they were like, well, we've got 6 weeks and all this stuff, and we're on holiday in Greece. Shall we quickly do a World War II film?
Like, who are the biggest celebrities at the moment? James Bond, Shaft, and Kojak.
Literally that. Like, if they did it now, it'd be like someone from The Only Way is Essex as a Nazi commandant. Fern Cotton running a whorehouse in a turtleneck. And who else can we have? Little Yachty filling the Richard Roundtree Shaft role. I mean, that sounds like a better film. To be honest, I'll fucking watch that. That would be fantastic.
But no, I wouldn't mind going to Greece at the minute. Actually, it's meant to be popping, and by popping I mean nice weather, and you don't have to quarantine when you get back.
Yeah, by popping you mean the Red Lion's open and it's not raining. There's a game of Connect 4 and a copy of Only Fools and Horses with your name on it.
There's a Trivial Pursuit that's only 7 years out of date.
Yeah. There's a Trivial Pursuit where the answer's still the North Circular with your name on it.
Oh man. But yeah, no, that's sad news for the island. It looked like it was getting back on its feet, and people are now a bit worried about a second spike. Who knows?
But do you think so? I was reading a thing about Ibiza a couple of days ago. They were talking to someone that ran a bar there, like not like a club party bar, like kind of a standard Brits abroad Spanish bar, and they were saying that it's actually reminded them, because they've been out there. They were British pub owners that had been out there like 15 years, and they were like, actually, we've kind of remembered what made Ibiza special before these fucking 18-year-old pilled up wankers turned up like fingering each other at the tech house.
Yeah.
And so part of me is like, do you think it'll have a renaissance? Because my mum and dad's honeymoon was in Ibiza. But this was obviously like, I don't think my mum and dad were doing 2 pingers and a fishbowl. And you know, and going to see Annie Mac. So maybe it'll bring back to the island the romantic magic that it's obviously lost via people like me going out there with my friends.
Famous Purple City friend and family member Dom Squire lived in Ibiza when he was a young man.
Did he?
Yeah, as a kid.
The great man. Shout out, Dom.
Parents lived out there.
Nephew of Chris Squire?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Might have to play some Yes later, just because you know I love a bit of Yes.
Any excuse to play a bit of Yes.
Mate, honestly, they're the only prog band, really. Pink Floyd have got a couple of alright albums, but Yes are the only prog band that I actually will ride for.
They are madcap enough.
Yeah, I mean, John Anderson on his solo record invented his own language. What more do you fucking want from a debut solo record other than a completely fictional language that you made up when you were probably off your tits?
I knew you'd like something like that. You bloody Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Wasn't it speak Klingon?
And as well, though, Dom's unc, Chris Squire, they called him the Fish on account of how much time he spent pissed in the bath. And I can fully relate.
Yeah, he used to come down to... Well, I say he used to come down. He used to live in London in a bathtub.
Yeah, that's true. And I signed our first 2 records pissed in the bath. I signed Jabru's album Pissed in the Bath in Whitstable, and I spoke to the first time I confirmed with Zach for the Cosmic B-Boy, I was pissed in the bath in Hackney.
God.
So I've got good... Me and baths have got good history.
They weren't like full baths. Like, you didn't go like full, I don't know, person who dies in a bathtub from drinking too much. That's quite...
Sadly not. No, I never had the budget for that. I was always...
I never had the budget to fill a bath.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I normally just had 4 beers. Like, you know,
Shallow tub.
My limit was very much about £4.50.
It's an interesting one, the old... Because that was how... was it Shilpa Shetty who died in a bathtub, or was it a different Bollywood actress? But there's meant to be like a conspiracy around it.
No, I think Shilpa Shetty's still alive, isn't she?
Maybe.
Because that's the one Jay Goody abused.
He is.
Yeah, no, Jay Goody's dead. I think Shilpa Shetty's still kicking. But I know who you... No, I remember the story you speak of.
It's not very quickly while you chat crap. But,
we can check the name on the next music break. It's all right.
There is... yeah, she is still alive. There is conspiracy around... Bollywood actors and actresses who are just dying left, right, and centre at the moment, and and there seems to be a mob mafioso style conspiracy around.
What? And they're all dying in the bath, or?
Well, they're dying from suicide, and no one's really looking into investigating whether it is or isn't, and no one's ever at these places or anything. I don't know. There's enough there to be like, this seems a bit strange.
Right.
Like, because there's like a big film company called T-Series, film and music company called T-Series, and I think it was like the owner of that allegedly died, and then there's a lot of reason to think that it was something else around that.
That's interesting. Well, there's also there's a similar conspiracy is the deaths of Chester Bennington from Linkin Park and Chris Cornell from Silverchair and Soundgarden. No, sorry, Soundgarden and Audioslave, not Silverchair. But they both committed suicide. They both hung themselves on the back of doors, apparently. But there's this long-running, and I keep seeing it resurface. It's cropped up an awful lot. There's this long-running conspiracy that they were about to expose a massive paedophile ring that went up to like US presidential levels.
All right.
And that their deaths are both murders that have been obviously, a bit like... and Epstein obviously went exactly the same way and was implemented in this big conspiracy. But it's quite interesting because, it's come up a lot, and obviously Epstein literally went out exactly the same way. And there was a whole thing about it because I think Bennington was sexually abused as a child.
Right.
So he's always been he's been very outspoken, and he had a charity set up for abused children and stuff. But there's now a a long running conspiracy theory that those two were both taken out by this kind of high profile paedophile ring.
Oh, right. Interesting.
So what's the drowning in a bath thing all about? Is that like...
Oh, no, if you get like too pissed and then like you pass out.
Oh, no, I'm fully aware of how you can die pissed in a bath, but I mean, is there something symbolic about why was that the kind of...
I mean, that's not like the way in which they're all going. It's like, I think a couple have gone that way, and then like...
Oh, right, I see. I was going to say, because that's really elaborate. That's like a really specific way to make it look like an accident.
But this is the thing, like, it feels like no one's really making it look like an accident. Like, they'll just like drown someone and then no one will investigate like strangleholds or anything like that. It was just, But I don't know.
Yeah, like they've walked in the room, their head's in another room, and they're like, "Yeah, natural causes, mate. What can I say?" End of. Case closed.
Pretty much.
Ah, yeah. I'll have to look into that. That's quite interesting. And actually, on the subject of tragic losses in Bollywood, Jagdeep from Sholay died recently. Just a couple of weeks ago, actually. Sholay, of course, a premier sample spot for the Horsepower Boys. One of Benny Hill's favourites. So I reckon we should get on the Sholay mix, Horsepower Productions.
Yeah.
Let's swerve into that, shall we? Shout out Benny and Matty and all the Horsepower team. Hope you're well. Let me just tee this up. There'll be some clunky typing for a moment. Oh yeah, well that's classic. The Sholay mix I was after isn't on Spotify.
Yeah, but it'll be on YouTube Records, mate.
Yeah, that's what I'll consult YouTube Records.
Get down to YouTube Megastores.
Right.
Gotta play a Monday.com ad first.
Do you remember when you used to rip stuff off on YouTube and you'd get that download this for free at 1000promos.com? That was a classic. Right, that's why I couldn't find it, because it's credited to the Horsepower alias High Plains Drifter. Shout out Clint Eastwood. So here we have Sholay Epic Mix, High Plains Drifter, Gold Spot Productions.
कहाँ है रे
That was Horsepower Productions, aka High Plains Drifter. Sorry, I've just seen what you've written. How is Drake the Rosetta Stone? You're gonna have to. So Ashley's got a theory that Drake is the Rosetta Stone. This is. Hang on, just before we start that, shout out Horsepower, aka High Plains Drifter, on the Sholay Epic Mix. R.I.P. Jagdeep. If you haven't seen the film Sholay, check it out. It's one of the best films ever made in India. I think it's fantastic. It's well worth a look. Moving on, Ashley, you have a theory that Drake is the Rosetta Stone. Is the Rosetta Stone, or owns the company Rosetta Stone that teach you languages whilst you sleep?
But during the entire lockdown, he has just learned every package of the Rosetta Stone and what they have. Or he is the Rosetta Stone in which he invented language. Or is the place where language was invented. I don't know. Either way.
Are you saying Drake's the cradle of life?
I don't want to go that far, because he's not.
I don't want to go that far because it sounds silly.
It sounds stupid. But every song he seems to wheel out a new language now. Like he was
but he
French.
doesn't actually. That's like when you just learn one phrase and get it tattooed on your arm in Japanese because you're spiritual. It's bullshit. He doesn't actually speak any of them.
Of course he doesn't. But he cares enough. He cares enough to do it. And it's kind of turned into a silly joke now. I don't really know why he keeps doing it, but either way, I like to think that he spent lockdown just learning every language under the sun.
He probably hasn't, though. He's probably spent the whole of lockdown baiting up his ex-girlfriends, being like, I still miss you, babes. Think about you and me all the time. To all of them.
Great man.
You know what he's done? He's probably fused his fetishization of foreign languages and grime, and he's now the Rosetta Stone Island. What he's done. He's just running around spouting Italian in a puffer jacket.
Romancing the Rosetta Stone Island.
It's just him and Michael Douglas, like, trying to chat up Rihanna with grime catchphrases. God, we should make films. We've got so many great films in us.
I think what would happen is, whatever idea that we just came up with there would morph into what Guy Ritchie already did with David Beckham in King Arthur.
The sad truth is, if we were left alone, we'd end up making a Guy Ritchie film. That's the worst bit about it. Absolute crud.
All right. Enough of my toss. What's bothering you this week?
What's bothering me? Well, it's not bothering. I mean, actually, no, it's not bothering me. It's amusing me thoroughly. Following on from our, our worries about whether British holidays can carry on, and can I be for Survivor season without Wayne Lineker coining it up and doing lines of coke from 2 meters? Tommy Robinson's moved abroad.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is fucking fantastic, because one, he's a prick, and two, he's a fucking xenophobe. And he's like, yeah, it's getting a bit hot in the UK. My missus is getting some stick. We're moving to France. It's like, I don't know why he sounds like Phil Mitchell.
I like that him and all of his supporters are using every word other than refugee at the moment.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally skirting around.
Every word other than refugee or immigrant.
They've finessed it wonderfully.
Yeah.
He's also said he's a political. Like he said something to the tune of like, well, I've been exiled. I'm a political exile, whatever. And it's like, well, most of the people from war-torn countries you fucking hate and are abusing are exactly that. Like, where does the disconnect come from that you can just nip over there? And it's also extra ironic because, one, I hope he does move just because fuck off, and two, I hope he gets beat up when he gets there because he's a prick. But also, I think it's quite funny that he campaigned mercilessly for Brexit, and it's probably made it harder for him to move now. So he's... Not only is he fucking off abroad, he's going to have loads of paperwork to do because he fucking promoted it.
God,
to all his pie-eating mates.
I really hope he goes somewhere where he gets forced to be deported back to the UK.
I hope... You know the bloke you had to travel back from France with to get the dogs over?
Oh yeah, that icon.
I hope he takes him out wherever he's going. I hope he goes in the van with the dog guy, just because that would be the perfect way to see him out.
God.
But yeah, so that's been amusing me this week. I just can't. I mean, that just 2020 for Britain has been hilarious. Like, much like all the farmers complaining they've lost all their funding, even though they all voted Brexit, which is exactly why they've lost their EU funding. I mean, and I do feel sorry. Like, Cornwall has had a really big problem with this. Cornwall was a primarily Leave county, and of course, it's primarily agriculture. And obviously, a lot of them now, I say obviously, I keep saying obviously, it might not be obvious, I don't know. But a lot of the farmers there are now finding their funding has dried up because it was all EU subsidised. Yeah. But of course, during the campaign, no one told them, you know, they were saying, here's a bus, 300 million to the NHS, but no one was actually saying, P.S., all your subsidies, because it's all subsistence farming now anyway, they're all EU funded. So all these EU initiatives have been withdrawn and now they can't afford to farm, and they literally voted for it. And a lot of people I've seen people online sort of saying, "I'll serve you right, you fucking idiots." And it's like, well, no, a lot of people, yeah, they may have voted for something they didn't really look into, which is not the greatest move. But a lot of people just assume that what their politicians tell them is accurate, you know, which is naive, perhaps, but certain generations in particular who don't have access to the internet like we do or aren't as fluent in fake news and Facebook ads and all the rest.
Yeah,
it'd be quite easy to not understand the system and think you're just being given the truth when you're being given a totally biased, algorithmically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just read whatever newspaper or news subscription thing that they sign up to is. So if you're...
Precisely, yeah. They just assume the Mail tells the truth and not what the Mail wants them to read. And now, unfortunately, they're reaping the results. So I saw a few people crowing over, like, farmers in Cornwall, particularly, being upset at their lack of funding. And I thought that was a bit rough, considering. But I do think it's really funny that... old Robinson has campaigned mercilessly to leave the EU and now he needs to move to the EU and it's going to be really difficult for him to do all the paperwork. What a fucking wanker, honestly.
What I found the most strange thing about the entire video was, why was he sweating so much?
Because he didn't fly a helicopter in the Falklands.
But then he wouldn't sweat at all.
That's what I'm saying. That's why he was sweating so much. He wasn't in the Falklands. So his sweat glands are operating normally because he's never flown a Chinook in the Falklands. Loser.
The guy's just like drenched.
He literally, by the end of that, he genuinely looked like a steamed gammon. Like, he looked like a steamed ham by minute 3.
God, he did look perfectly cooked, you're right.
And his weird spray on tan made him look like he'd had a Coca-Cola or honey glaze. Like he had sort of a syrupy layer on top of his sweat. So he not only looked like a steamed ham, he looked like a proper, like, Elvis 2 litres of cola steamed ham. He was a Nashville ham.
Great man. I take that back.
I'm not even sure you can get away with saying that.
No, I can't. I don't think anyone can. I take that back instantly.
Right, let's dip here because I need a beer, and frankly, this is the end of this. I think in tribute to old Tommy there moving abroad, I'm going to tee up. It's a personal favourite of mine. Let's go with Foreigners. I Want to Know What Love Is.
Oh yes, Magic FM. The power hour.
Yeah, smooth magic all day, mate. Right, here's Foreigner. This one's dedicated to Tommy Robinson's paperwork. Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. It would have been much fucking smoother if I teed it up before I did the intro, but I didn't. Here we are. We're doing it on the fly.
It's your first time on the radio, isn't it?
It might as well be. Such a good tune. Such a good tune. Right, I'm getting a beer.
I've gotta take a little time to think things over. I better read between the lines case I need it when I'm older. Now this mountain I must climb feels like the world upon my shoulder. Through the clouds I see love shine. It keeps me warm as life grows colder. In my life there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I'm gonna take a little time to look around me. I've got nowhere left to hide. It looks like love has finally found me. In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. I can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. Let's talk about love. I wanna know what love is. Love that you feel inside. I want you to show me. I'm feeling so much love. I feel what love is. Oh, you just can't hide. No, you can show me. I wanna know what love is. Let's talk about love. Oh, you can show me. I wanna feel it. I wanna feel what love is. I wanna feel it too.
Went to Japan,
And I
mate.
know you can show me. I wanna
That was Foreigner with I Want to Know What Love Is. Dedicated to the cunt, Tommy Robinson's Paperwork. Can we say cunt on Threads?
What?
Can we say cunt on Threads?
Only if the person you're referring to is Tommy Robinson.
All right, we're good. Yep.
Cool. Good.
No, it's all right.
I
He's a
think that's
fucking
the rule.
racist. We can say
I
what we
think
want.
that's what Lee the producer told us.
Yeah, pretty sure that's what the media training PDF they sent us said. I didn't read it, but you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, one of us had to, I guess. Yeah.
Did you actually read it?
Yeah,
Did we actually get one?
we're not media training PDF. It was like send your files in this format.
All right, well, you can tell I didn't read it. I have no idea what the content is. Shout out the Threads team. I can't wait to be back in the studio with a producer. This has been such a... As much as I like that we've found our dream format, this is such a pain in the ass to put together.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long we've been recording for. I don't know where we are in the show because I forgot to start a fucking timer. Although there's a clock behind you in that shot, but I didn't look at what it said when we started recording.
Oh, same. I'm going to guess we've been going for like an hour.
47 minutes, 9 seconds.
Good.
Although what I will say is, you and I discussing how long we've been recording doth not make for good radio. So let's swiftly move on. What else has been burning you up this week, mate?
Hang on, let's watch at the time. That's 1 sec.
47 minutes and 9 seconds.
What else has been burning me up? I don't know if it's been burning me up. It's kind of like, it's both sad and in some ways amusing and in some ways, I don't know, unsettling at the same time. It's like Kanye West's current journey of becoming president or recording an album or I don't know,
whatever it is he's doing
in the past I'd say month. It's all gone a bit weird. It's all gone a bit strange.
I mean, it was strange before, but yeah, he really has. I mean, I don't know. I think the current sideshow around him, because it's always been the Kanye West sideshow. Like he's always doing some quirky madcap shit. But I don't think this is like funny sideshow stuff. I think at this point he's actually in trouble, and I don't think people around him are noticing enough that he needs help more than he needs either encouraging or just being filmed for Instagram.
No, something that I've always kind of thought, and I think of it of other celebrities too that have kind of been through these troubles and some have, gone and, passed away in time from, stuff possibly related to this or other. But do you think it's sort of the thing of being surrounded by so many people who, if they say no, they will lose their jobs? So if they say no to one of his demands, they're out of work, and therefore they say yes to everything.
I think that's definitely, things like that have exacerbated it, definitely. I mean, I'm obviously far from an expert. I only see what's publicly put out. But for me, I don't know. I think he's really been struggling ever since his mum died, just before 808s and Heartbreaks came out.
Yeah.
Like, that was where he seemed to really take a, like, 808s and Heartbreaks was obviously, like, a pretty revolutionary album at the time. But that was where he started, like, the interrupting Beyonce when she's collecting awards, and really, it was beyond him being, because he was always cocky, and he was always like, I'm going to be the next best thing. When he got signed to Rockefeller, he was like, I've earned this, I'm the best producer. But that was where it went from beyond him being cocky to, like, there was, like, a degree of desperation to a lot of it. Yeah. And it seems like his mum dying, like, he lost his stabilizer. She seemed to be a stabilizing presence for him.
Yeah. It seemed like it was someone who kept him grounded's not the word, but
just I think a bit like when your mum's in the room, you just kind of, you still swear a bit in that, but you're not as, you just kind of drop it a level, don't you? Because mum and dad are there. When your parents are in the room, you just kind of rein it in just a bit. And I wonder if that's kind of the effect she had on him, was just, but like, he just seems to now, and of course the problem is in the current climate and the way things work culturally, like that last album, that gospel album, it's all right actually. I quite like it, but it was the weird sermon listening sessions he did that everyone talked about, not the record.
Yeah.
And the problem is now you get rewarded for doing mad, outlandish shit, even if the record's not very good. And I wonder if that's kind of seeped in a bit too deep for him.
That is
now everything's kind of a stunt.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like if it sells the record, it doesn't matter whether it's right, wrong, good, bad, healthy, unhealthy. And yeah, I mean, and also though, to cross over a little bit with the Wiley incident, which I almost don't want to delve into.
Mm.
There's also that thing of like, it's just about the gas now. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're not got anything to sell. Just being visible and saying some stuff is more important than doing any, And I think as well, the fact he's married to a Kardashian, whose entire life is a business, can only make it more confusing as to what you need to put online and what you don't, and what you should be selling and what you shouldn't. Like,
I mean,
as a family, their whole life is for sale and always has been.
Yeah, theirs is a manufactured, a manufactured show, whereas Kanye's didn't start that way and hasn't kind of been that way. He wasn't born into being close to O.J. Simpson and that trial and
Jesus
from there and stuff. That's kind of, and mother who's an Olympian and all the rest of it. It's kind of, he's had a bit more of a grounded start in life, and they've kind of I guess been media trained in their life.
There's just that strange thing with them, like the Kardashians. I can't remember. It might have been when Kim became a billionaire.
Mm.
And another one was like, another one of the Kardashians was like, so good to see my, I think it was one of them, but they were like, so good to see Kim become a self-made billionaire.
Mm.
And it's like, you don't understand what the term self-made means. Like, you had an uber famous family, access to ridiculous amounts of money, and you turned that into more money, which, fair enough, well done. That's, can't knock that. But that's not really self-made. Like, being born into ultimate privilege and then turning that into further privilege. Like, and on that level, Kanye is far closer to self-made. Like, by hip-hop standards, his mother was a university lecturer.
Looking at his start, he is, and where he is now, he is a genuine self-made billionaire.
But his mother was a university lecturer, so he was middle class when he started.
Of course, yeah.
So to stack him against a lot of other rappers, Jay-Z, for instance, he's not even, like, I'm not saying he's not self-made, but he's still, a step. But I think the problem now is, well, not the problem now, that American culture is kind of such that if you're making money, well done. It doesn't matter what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're getting it. And I don't know, I feel like Kanye's got very lost in that, because particularly on that College Dropout, tracks like All Falls Down, he's got lyrics about, things we buy to cover up what's inside. There's another one about, and a white man gets paid off of all of that. And then now, jump forward 20 years, and all he does is buy designer shit and talk about it. And he works for a company owned by a white person, Adidas, with all the Yeezy stuff. And it's kind of like he came out really strong and had really, really definite messages, and his faith too. And his faith seems to be the only thing that's maintained. Everything else is kind of like, when it came down to it, he just would do anything for the money. And I don't know. I'm not too au fait with a lot of his new stuff. I don't listen to a lot of it. But I used to find him really interesting, and I find he's got more and more. He just seems to be chasing fame as opposed to But I don't know. It's weird because he is artistically really daring. But it's kind of like, I don't know, I always feel like, is he actually artistically daring, or is he being daring because it's what gets him attention?
I think it's executed very well still.
Oh yeah, he's a fucking genius. Everything he does is executed well.
Even if it is daring for daring's sake, it is done in a way and cohesive with what he's doing in that, be it album campaign cycle or fashion season or
part of me's like, similar to the Wiley incident, he's also running around saying slavery's a choice.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, at that point, I don't fucking care how good your records are, and I don't want to hear your opinions on IKEA.
Yeah.
No, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. I don't. Yeah, it's another.
One interesting thing that I found from this current episode is that he has like a retreat in, I think it's in Wyoming. I think it was where he recorded the his latest album, assuming one doesn't come out on Friday. And at that retreat, there was there's a photo that came out of Damon Dash and Justin Bieber sitting down having a chat together.
I mean,
I just don't know what to make of it. It's a bit strange.
For better or for worse, only Kanye.
But in that, I find it quite weird. In that, so Kanye West has now joined management with Scooter Braun, who is the one that was that he used to manage Taylor Swift and fell out very publicly.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
Right.
And it kind of makes me think: is this just like another dig at Taylor Swift?
Possibly.
Like,
I mean, again, this is what I'm talking about. You don't know. It quite realistically could be.
And that's kind of like what the story behind that photo was, because Justin Bieber is part of that management company, part managed by them as well. So it's weird.
Also, why Wyoming?
I don't know. I think it's Wyoming. I'm not sure.
Is it Wyoming? So there's a Louis Theroux from the Weird Weekends way back, you know, when he visited Lake Palmer and such champs. There's a Weird Weekends where he goes and visits all these kind of these sort of backwoods American settlements where they're preparing for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And there's one place which is like, geographically, it's where if there were nuclear strikes on America, it's the most central, so the furthest from all the military targets, the coast. And I think that's why. Maybe he's got like an apocalypse bunker, because I'm sure that's Wyoming or one of those kind of, you know, rural, forgotten Rust Belt Midwesterns.
Yeah. No, I just looked it up. It is a Wyoming ranch that is bought for $14 million.
That's quite expensive.
It is.
But
it's where he recorded the last album, and everyone came over to Wyoming
or the one that's coming
record
out
there, including Kenny G. Yeah, the gospel.
God,
I mean, maybe the one that's coming out too.
Yeah, I forgot. See, then he does shit like gets Kenny G on a record, and I'm like, I honestly don't care whether you're ill or not. That's just too far. I'm not having it.
Yeah.
See, I was going to say, should we play a Kanye tune after that? But I'd sort of rather play The Emperor of Wyoming by Neil Young.
I'd rather play Kenny G.
Can we not play Kenny G? Can we play Emperor of Wyoming by Neil Young? It's quite short as well.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's tuck that in there. All right, let me get...
I'll let you line that one up. God, Kenny G, what a man. His Christmas album is still a family favourite, and by family favourite, I mean my favourite.
You're going to have to say that again, what?
Kenny G's Christmas album is still a family favourite.
No, I heard you.
I mean my favourite.
I fucking heard you. I'm just saying.
Kenny G's Christmas album.
No. Right, there's 2.5 Christmas albums you need, right?
Okay.
There's Bootsy Collins' Christmas album, Christmas is Forever.
Very good.
Jethro Tull's Christmas album, A Jethro Tull Christmas Album.
I don't know. Jethro Tull, I'm not... okay.
Sounds like some white people stuff.
Is it just experimental flute again?
No, it's just like ye olde folky Christmas jingles. It's
yeah,
very
and by
traditional.
that I mean experimental flute.
No, there's no experimental flute.
With
it's just
sleigh bells this time.
Nah, mate. Anyway, and there's so I've got Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg. I don't understand why. I don't really know where I think I just found it on eBay and was like, this is great. So it's just Doggy Style, but it's on translucent weed green vinyl. And it's got like a holly wreath on the front and it says Merry Motherfucking Christmas. And it's not Christmas themed. There's no like added Christmas bits. It's just Doggy Style in a Christmas sleeve.
Doggy Style in a Christmas jumper. Very nice.
And I play it every Christmas and I don't really know what else you need from life. Oh, and obviously every Christmas I also watch Planet of the Apes.
And you watch Shaft in Africa.
And Shaft in Africa. That's Christmas Eve. Shaft in Africa, Planet of the Apes, drink some special brew to hang on the tree, listen to the Snoop Dogg Christmas album. Do you remember the Christmas tree, the Special Brew Christmas tree?
No.
Still my best invention. So whilst I watch Shaft in Africa and Planet of the Apes, I drink as much Special Brew as I can, and then I hang the gold cans on the tree with gold thread.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, about 6 pints in, it gets horrible.
It's a wonder you make it to Christmas Day.
I largely don't. There was one year, actually, a few years ago. Shout out
Is this
Mrs. Bayfield
the
on this.
story of you passing out and your ass hanging out?
Yeah. So I had a big night out up Yarmouth on Christmas Eve. And I got home possibly at about 5 in the morning. And I think it was when I was working at Sano's. So I'd got loads of cheap chicken goujons because they had to get rid of everything for like a penny on the last day. So I just rolled home with like a 50 bag of chicken goujons. And I put them in the oven, forgot about them, and passed out naked on the living room floor. And my mum just rolled in and put a wet towel over my balls and left me there until 7 in the morning. Yes, that was a good Christmas. Here's Neil Young with The Emperor of Wyoming, which again I haven't queued up, so there'll now be some tapping and it won't be a clean segue.
Like 15 minutes to queue this up.
Look, you just talk.
Again. I wasted all my chat on talking about how great Christmas is and Kenny G being my favourite Christmas album. Kenny G Christmas.
Right, I've queued it up now, it's fine.
Oh, God.
That was Neil Young with The Emperor of Wyoming. Shout out Neil. I like that Neil Young started his debut solo album when everyone couldn't wait to hear what Neil Young was going to do solo. Started with an instrumental.
Oh, now you know.
Which, I don't even know if he... Marmite hummus is a thing now. What is this? Fuck whatever we were on about. What's this?
Yeah, it seems like... I mean, I've just seen lots of people talking and sending pictures of themselves eating Marmite hummus. Seems to be a new thing, but Marmite just keep on throwing their brand on everything. They need to stop. It's really irritating.
I don't know though, because it's like that's where the money's at now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it tastes like crud.
A bit like when you could go down to Primark and get like a Star Wars onesie, a Motorhead t-shirt, a Tesco carrier bag, a Ferrari, and 5 pints of Coca-Cola. Selling the franchise name is now where the money's at.
Oh, right. I got you.
I'm just saying, like now you just go in Primark and there's a t-shirt with every fucking thing on.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know, you just walk in and you're like, do I need a Third Reich t-shirt? Maybe. Oh, I've got this. Why have Foreigner got t-shirts out? They've not been on tour since '84. Oh, I'll have one of them too. I don't even know who the Ramones are, but I'll have one of their t-shirts. They're all £1. I'll just...
Tommy Robinson blows up France. God, yeah, I'll have one of those. Yeah, why not? It's topical.
What's that? A turtleneck with Tommy Robinson in front of a burning mosque? Ah, it's only £1.50. Yeah, go on. Yeah, all right. Yeah, bargain. Yeah, go on. I'll queue for 4 hours to get this in front of a weird pile of discarded joggers that don't fit. I'll just stand in front of this weird Vesuvius of joggers that look like they're vomiting onto the cashier because it's only £1.50. It's all right, isn't it?
I don't know if I don't know if Primark has much of a hype beast culture yet, but yeah, I'm sure that a Supreme Tommy Robinson collaboration is going to come one day.
Yeah, and you can take it home in a brown paper bag that makes you look like you've just been down a kebab shop. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Yep, that's what you want.
That was worth the blood and tears of all those little Asian kids, wasn't it?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, no, I'm not pro Primark. They don't even pay fucking tax. I mean, yeah. In fact, there's an area where Primark and Tommy Robinson intersect. Neither pays tax in the UK.
The Primark Robinson Venn diagram.
What a Venn diagram it is. What else has been burning you up this week then, Ashley?
I mean, you had one that I think is very topical for the Threads listeners because we have like another 10 minutes left of the Threads hour and a half.
Actually,
and
we got 22 minutes.
Ooh. Yeah, but that'll be enough time to talk about the Thugger album. And
I mean, look, to be honest, I could have done 90 minutes. I was holding off because I didn't want us to just talk about rap for the entire show like every other show.
Yeah.
But yeah,
your moment has come. Come on.
So if you listened to the show before, which you haven't, because we know who listens, and it's me and Ash when we have to sound check it before we send it to the producers. So fuck off all of you.
I don't even think they listen. They normally like nip out when we're
yeah, even the producers
when we're recording. So I'm trying to run a few errands, mate.
The ultimate was when God bless the production team. Shout out the boys and girls. But the ultimate was when the producer offered to go out and get us beers and sandwiches. And I'm pretty sure it was just because they couldn't listen to our shit any longer. So they were like, I'm going to go and buy you beers and sandwiches.
This is
we
why.
Like, we haven't asked you for any. And they were like, well, I'm going anyway.
It's because you went through this period. It's fucking annoying. Of just playing really shit Phil Collins remixes.
That wasn't a period, that was a feature.
Call it what you want. It was a phase.
It was called Shameless Filler, mate. And it's still on. Like, as soon as we're back in the studio, it's coming back.
Fuck's sake.
You can fuck off. I'll get a new co-host before I drop that feature.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, anyway, on the subject of refusing to let go of things from the past, Slim Thug's debut album, Already Platinum, was 15 years old a couple of weeks ago, or this week, or last week. So I thought I'd bring that up, because you know I love Thugger.
Oh, who doesn't love Thugger?
I've got a big soft spot for him. Just because... I mean, I like a lot of Texas rap and Southern hip hop generally. It's kind of where the tempo is kind of where my ear rests, and obviously as someone that came from dubstep, there's only 5 BPM in it, give or take, and it's that slow rolling kind of lurching stuff. I'm about that.
That Southern drawl really works with it as well.
And yeah, and it's like you either have the slow Southern drawl or you have that really nimble kind of flow where you can tuck into all of the pockets. And both just work wonderfully on those slower beats. And actually, a lot of Dipset's best stuff. Dipset were really savvy in that regard. If you look at it now, or I think they were, I don't know if it was a conscious thing. But if you look at a lot of Dipset's big tunes now, they're all 80, 85 BPM. So they're actually rolling at that Southern tempo. They just weren't as Southern sounding. And of course, those guys were a lot more fluid on the beat.
But even still, I mean, you listen to Santana's flow on some of his tracks. He does kind of move it from that really fast, skippy, twitchy flow to really slow sometimes. I mean, Santana's Town is a perfect example of how he switches it between the two seamlessly.
Yeah, and I think Santana's Town is 85 BPM. So it's only, you know, again, it's within 5 BPM of that southern tempo. Yeah, I mean, I love Thug anyway. He just sounds great all the time. But he's not a great rapper. Sometimes he's really good, but a lot of the time he's not. He doesn't really worry too much about kind of being on beat and sticking to patterns. It's more just the vibe of it. And he's never, I sort of admire in a weird way, he's never really got any better. Like, he doesn't sound any more competent now than he did 20 years ago. Like, he's kind of, and he's never tried to produce, I sort of admire. He's a bit like, in a weird way, this isn't a diss, because I'm a big fan of them too, but he's kind of like the Motorhead of Southern hip-hop. Like, if you like what he does, you'll like album 1 and you'll like album 20, and it's unlikely there'll be too much in the middle that you're like, what the fuck's he doing? He's not like Bowie, where it can go anywhere and you're like, well, what the fuck is this now? Or that's the most genius thing ever. And
also, it's not like Catfish and the Bottlemen, where everything sounds exactly the same.
I mean, it's almost upsetting you mentioned Catfish and the Bottlemen in the same breath. But interestingly, I mean,
like
already platinum.
Like the whole 3 albums they've got now. So yeah.
Have they got 3 albums? I thought they just had that one tune.
I
don't know. I had to edit the Citadel 2018 after movie to one of their tunes, and I heard it every day. I must have heard it about 300 times a day for a week, and it was quite. At first, I was like, I think it was called Long Shot.
Right.
But it was like, I was like, yeah, this is like an indie anthem. I was like, I can hear this will fucking bang. But now I never want to hear it again. But already platinum. No, it was Thug's major label debut. Not major label. He was on Star Trek, Pharrell and Chad Hugo's label, Neptune's label. But it was called already platinum because basically when Pharrell, I mean, again, it's almost like the album's not that good, to be honest. It's not. There's a couple of absolute bangers, but as a record, it's really front loaded. Like the front 8 tunes are good, and the back half's a bit fillery. And again, like a lot of music from that time, I think with a bit of sequencing, it could have been a better record just if you shuffled around the crap instead of putting it all one end. But,
yeah, it's like they recorded it in record. It's like they organised the track list in the order it was recorded in.
Yeah, so. Almost. Well, actually, this had the original version of it was meant to come out in like January or March 2005, the year it came out, and then it got leaked. Because remember when leaks were a problem?
Yes. When
like if an album got leaked, it would fuck the sales because it was pre everyone being able to get everything. So if something leaked, you'd be fucked pretty quickly. And the original one had a track with Snoop Dogg on, which we'll probably play out on that. It's called Chicken Strips, which is actually good. And I ain't heard of that with Bun B, had Jay-Z on. And I mean the track basically, if you listen to it, the leak, it sounds like a Jay-Z tune. Like Jay-Z is 90% of the track, and he sounds crap on it. Like I'm not a huge Jay-Z fan. But he sounds more like sometimes his style is he's offbeat and he sort of doesn't fit in the pocket. But this just sounds like he genuinely hasn't heard the beat he's on.
Yeah, I think going back to what we were saying about great producer Kanye West earlier, it feels like Jay-Z only truly excels. In fact, that's kind of untrue, but when he's at his absolute best is when he's working with a producer that can bring him out in his way and not one where he's trying to fit for the Southern sound or whatever. You know, it needs to be a song that's written and made for Jay-Z for it to work, I think.
Well, interestingly, I think that's where Slim Thug fell down on this album. Like, obviously he got picked up by Pharrell, and yeah, one of the interesting things, like, Pharrell was, I was reading a thing about it, I read a thing about it fucking years ago, but when Pharrell picked him up for because he was on Wamp Wamp, the Clips tune, he was doing a hook on that before, but when Pharrell picked him up, he was already a millionaire, just off the back of his hustling and mixtapes and everything else he did, and that's why the album's called Already Platinum, because he reckons he'd probably sold about 1 million CDRs out the back of his car, because he'd been running for 6 years, I think, at that point, or maybe even a little bit longer. But him and Boss Hog Outlaws, they were doing like 5 or 6 mixtapes a year between them, and just flogging God knows how many at shows around Texas. But he actually sounds more... The bits that don't work are when he's on tracks produced by Jazza Faye.
Yeah, that's a bad song, that one.
Oh man, that one, Everybody Loves a Pimp, and I think there's one called Ashy to Classy, or Ashy to Classy, I guess, if you're saying it in a US accent. But they don't work, and there's a couple of slow kind of not Sweet Boy, but kind of more, and they're just not him. And then when he's on Mr. Lee tracks, Mr. Lee's like one of his kind of Texas producers who he'd worked with for years. He sounds like absolutely ridiculously unstoppable. And you realise when you hear it in succession how much the bits where he's kind of being put on stuff that he's not comfortable on just don't work. And it sums it up that his next album, he went the other way. He went proper just back to Texas beatmakers, Texas guests.
Yeah.
And Boss of All Bosses, much better record. But Already Platinum's also got some absolute classics on it. Like, it's got Like a Boss, obviously.
Like a Boss. Oh.
Three Kings were Bun B and
Three
T.I.
Kings.
Diamonds is probably the best on it though. Diamonds at normal speed sounds like it's playing too slow.
Okay.
And it's just one of the groaniest. Mate, let's play that now. Actually, fuck this. Let's play Diamonds just because it's. I mean, the chopped and screwed version is ridiculous. The chopped and screwed version almost feels like time stopped working. Like.
How long have we got left of the Fred's hour and a half?
We've got 10 minutes.
Well, do you want to get this first one, and then we can have a little sign-off chat, put on another song, and then we'll have a bonus round for those who like YouTube.
Yeah, what we'll do, we'll play Diamonds now, we'll have a little sign-off, we'll then play Chicken Strips, which is the track that got leaked and didn't make the final album and is pretty good fun. And then we can just continue as is de rigueur for the Purple City Lads. All right.
Mystery box, ain't it?
Let me clumsily queue up a Slimmer.
God, I can't. You got to learn to multitask, mate.
Well, no, I got shit to do, mate.
I got shit to do too, mate.
No,
you know what I mean?
Neither of us have. I don't know why we keep pretending we have.
I got the pressing up against the wood grain. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel. I got the pressing up against the wood grain. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel. That's right. Pressing up against the wood grain. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel. Now who other than Slim Thugger, still tipping on foes, wrapped up in gator bows, closing them candy doors. Can't drink whole music slow, how I roll when I'm flossing. Trunk crack in the back, I'm in my lack, big boss, and I got the diamonds pressing up against the wood grain wheel. When you see a player shining, bitch, tell me how you feel. I'm trying to chill, cause pussy niggas ain't real. Gon' make me drop them with the hands or pop them with the steel. I'm the dirty South boss, them other suckers is clones. Misrepresenting Texas with them weak ass on. My screen showing trunk glowing while I flip through the hood. Big diamond shining, blinding while I'm gripping the wood. I got the pressing up against the wood grain. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel. I got the pressing up against the wood grain. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel. I got the pressing up against the wood grain. When you see a
a candy coupe de ville. Big cup full of drink, man, we poppin' pint seals. The caddy trunk banging while I drop the fifth wheel. Riding so low, I got my hand up on the steel. Them jackals tryna plot, I bet the Glock'll make them chill. I'm straight up out of Texas, yeah, the land of the trill. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel. Had to bring back the foes, made them put away the choppers. Got the candy blue shining while I'm swinging on the boppers. Keep straight through stop signs, fuck if the law stop us. Screaming free, Pimp C to the motherfucking coppers. Got the
Diamond pressure up against the wood grain field. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel.
I got the
Diamond pressure up against the wood grain field. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel.
That's right.
Diamond pressure up against the wood grain field. When you see a pimp shining, bitch, tell me how you feel.
I got the
Diamond pressure up against the wood grain field. When you see a
That was Slim Thug there with Diamonds. Absolute treat. It's just one of the biggest slow rolling classics.
Very vibesy.
I forgot to mention as well, I think the other thing I love about Slim Thug, particularly in this era, was his crew, the Boss Hog Outlaws. There's a brilliant track. Oh, we might need to play it instead of chicken strips. The intro to the album Boss Hog Outlaws is just them singing the Dukes of Hazzard theme tune, but replacing it with the Boss Hog Outlaws stuff, which is pretty brilliant. And I also like that, like the Boss Hog Outlaws, like Killer Kyleon is easily the technically best rapper out of all of them. But the rest of them is like there's Chris Ward, PJ, J Dog, and they all literally sound like a team of painter decorators or plumbers. And they have the technical abilities of painter decorators or plumbers. The only one that can rap is Sir Daly. And the rest of them, like J Dog in particular, is awful. But like PJ and Chris Ward are just alright. They're just like solid. Like I said, I imagine they're bricklayers. They're just nice people that are just kind of fairly reliable, do their thing. And I quite admired that, like the Boss Hog Outlaws were always on the tracks and always around, and they worked as a team. But on their own, like if you listen to their solo stuff, none of them can hold it for a whole record.
I think you can say that about so many other hip hop posses. The St. Lunatics.
I mean, they don't even sound like painter decorators.
They don't, mate. Did the Murder Inc. tag along? Did they have a name?
Were they not just Murder Inc.?
Yeah.
I mean, they were still awful. Let's not get it twisted.
Cadillac Tie weren't bad. Black Child. Now we're talking.
Cadillac and Black Child. Classic.
Beta. Oh.
Yeah, they were up there with St. Lunatics. And, I mean, the ultimate for, like, just no was Chingy's group, Get It Boys.
Oh, no.
They were pretty bad. State Property. Who was in State Property other than Beanie and Freeway?
No, that was Oshkino Sparks, Young Guns.
I rest my case.
Freeway was part of it, wasn't he?
Pardon?
Weren't Freeway part of State Property?
Yeah, it was like Beanie Siegel, Freeway.
Yeah.
And then there was like all them other ones, Young Chris, Sparks.
No, they had quite a good team. They had Old Dirty Bastard when he turned into Dirt McGirt.
Wait, Old Dirty Bastard was part of...
Yeah, he changed the name to Dirt McGirt.
I genuinely never knew that.
He had that song, he had that Sound of the Police sample.
Was that credited to State Property? Was he on State Property at that point? Are you sure he wasn't just in prison and genuinely State Property?
It might, I mean...
Are you getting his actual prison rep confused with the group State Property?
I'm pretty sure he was in State Property. I'm going to look this up now because I know the Freds fans are keen to know.
Fuck the people. I need to know because I've never clocked that. If that's a thing, I've never ever clocked it.
Yeah, like he was on State Property too.
Yeah, but is he not just a guest? Like how,
film.
like you know, how like people like Bubba Sparks and Jada Kiss were on Rough Riders 3 or whatever.
I don't.
And Peter Pablo,
yeah.
they weren't
I mean, now that I'm looking
they
at
were
it,
just guests that were bankable at the time.
now that I'm looking at it, like the track is listed as state property featuring Dirt McGirt. But
That's
he
fine.
is
Yeah, that's fine. No, I knew that.
But he is a bit too close to comfort with the whole thing. Like, he's in State Property 2, the movie, and I'm certain he was on the cover of that second State Property album. And he's on that song When You Hear That with Beanie Siegel and the rest of the guys.
I mean, if he's on the cover, that's like you're fully getting to.
Yeah.
You're fully getting to.
Nicole Ray was in State Property.
Oh yeah, how could we possibly forget?
Exactly.
I mean, right.
Wasn't Rel in State Property as well? Not
Say
Hell
again?
Rel. Wasn't Rel in State Property? Not Hell Rel. Rel.
Is Rel not Hell Rel?
I don't know. One of them's an R&B singer, the other's a rapper.
Yeah, so Rel has got to be the singer, because Hell Rel is definitely a rapper.
Yeah. Rel's a singer. We've
I'm
gone way
so
off board.
confused.
Should we do a little sign off if we've not already?
Yes, let's do a sign off. Sorry, I'm still trying to tee up an album that won't fucking show up.
God, just swerve it. Just get some Dirt McGirt on.
Well, no, the problem is everyone keeps spelling boys with a Z or a fucking. It's just a pain in the ass.
What was ODB's other name? Was it Big Baby Jesus?
Big Baby Jesus,
Dirt McGirt.
A Sun Unique, Dirt McGirt, Osiris. He had a few. I like Big Baby Jesus. Still my favourite. But right, yeah. So when you're ready, we'll sign off and then we'll finish with Slim Thug and the Boss Hog Outlaws. Basically, the track's just called Intro. It's off the mixtape Boys in Blue, which was their first album on Koch after already platinum. Didn't flop, but didn't really do what it was supposed to.
Good old Koch Records.
I mean, mate, they held it down so hard from 2004 to 2008. Like, but yeah, basically, this is just Slim Thug and his mates singing the Dukes of Hazzard theme tune. And it's just a joy to behold. And the chopped and screwed version's even better, but it's about 8 minutes long, so I'm playing the normal one.
Good one. All right, let's do a little sign off. It's been
Thanks
lovely,
for watching Threads Radio. It's the Purple City team. It's Matthew and Ashley, aka Purple City Council, aka Dirt Russell.
Pick up a pre-order your copy of Calabash, Behold a Black Wave, coming out on the 4th of September, but you should get your one in early because they will sell out.
Yes, vinyl moving quickly. We're never going to repress them. T-shirts moving quickly too. Again, never to be repressed. purplecityco.bandcamp.com. Here's Slim Thug and the Boss Hog Outlaws with intro / the Dukes of Hazzard theme.
Boss Hog Outlaw, never meaning no harm. Pimp for all the brothers they saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Foes scraping the curb, always backing they still. Someday the damn devil might get them, but the law never will. Making their pay the only way they know how. Stacking just a little bit more than the law will allow.
Howdy, folks. My name is Hogg. The J.D. Hogg, that is. The Jefferson Davis Hogg, that is. And let's just say I run Harrison County. You know how to get to Harrison County, don't you? You just hit south from anywhere in the good old U.S. of A. and you run right smack into my neck of the woods. And if you're looking to do business, or any kind of business down here, I'm the one to see. Just ask for Boss. I'll be waiting to hear from you. I'm
Boss
open to
Hog
anything.
Outlaw wouldn't change if they could. Fighting the system like a true boy and blue nigger would.
Boys in blue, straight at you. Now tell me, what are you gonna do? Boys in blue, straight at you. Now tell me, what are you gonna do?
I break the microphone with ease, it's a gift to me. I treat the track like a bitch and just pimp the beat. Daily sounds banging loud like a symphony. You fake niggas trying to match just some sense to me. But I'ma keep it on the real about this hogging life. Every day we chasing skrill, trying to ball for life. Keeping money on my mind, number one all time. Other dummies gonna whine when they come out shine, and that's plain and simple. I'ma get this dope. Kick a nigga in the face like I kick his dope. Spit a nigga in the face like I spit this flow. Daily riding so low, no splitting this dope. I'ma hit this hoe, then change locations. Cause I'm hungry for the green, so I stays impatient. Green light on the mic, I'ma change the nation. Sir daily on the mic, so don't change the station.
Nice with his hands like Prince Nassim. People see me with him like his name Prince Hakeem. Get more respect to the king than the prince you've seen. I heard you nice with the mic, gotta convince my team. I wreck every beat I'm on cause it's my duty, man. Make a hit and don't say shit like Buddha Tane. I can hit a chick and don't pay shit. It's Big Pimp, while your handcuff and saving the trick. Your big sip, so pay me what you owe me on the block. I put this party to your Cavaliers. I'm like Kobe with the Glock, or Obi-Wan Kenobi with the Glock. Cause I put the beam to your head. From you niggas blind for your bling and your bread, and had you niggas hollering and screaming. You're scared in a hospital bed and you're dreaming you're dead. But you're not. Get you shot by a shot when it's popped and it's cocked and unlocked from the top of the Hitler and Koch.
Grind time, I'm feeling like this is my prime. I got a lot of shit on my mind, why not put it down? I'm trying to put 7 circles behind my dollar sign and push a drop top that's hand designed with a B on the behind. Floss like a boss, valet parked in front of my penthouse. I'm hungry, tired of being starving. Marvin had to hit and the scope and tell Jimmy let's bargain. The dirty South margin belong to us boys in blue, leaving boys in dust. In God we trust, cause he down with us. My whole team supreme, hot boss spit us. Slim thugger, a slim thug that I am. So gangsta, that's how my brain was programmed. Mr. Boss, niggas best respect my fam. I catch bullets and they blitz till my Tech 9 jam.
That was the intro to Slim Thug and the Boss Hog Outlaws Boys in Blue mixtape, and then it rolled into the track Boys in Blue, which worked out nicely because I really needed a piss. So I just went for a wee, and then that started, so I thought I'd leave that on. But there was a Pootie Tang reference in there. Sir Daly had a verse.
God.
One more. I still think he should be called Sir V Daly, so he served daily because he's a dealer, so he serves daily.
That's too smart though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I figured that's kind of what his name means anyway. He just sort of missed the bit that made it a pun.
His
I don't
last
know.
name might
Maybe
just
not.
be Daly, or his first name might be Daly.
That's true. Maybe he's just like Tom Daly's dad, and he's a Sir because Tom Daly does diving really well.
Good one.
I mean, I get the feeling one of the Boss Hog Outlaws didn't have a gay Olympic diver son.
It's hard to tell because like
Feels like a stretch.
they're full of surprises though.
I mean, them Texas boys are.
I mean,
But
like,
how good is that Boss Hog Outlaws Dukes of Hazzard theme?
oh, I mean, back shit crazy.
Have you heard them singing Crazy in Love?
No.
Right, that's how we're going out on the show.
Oh god, no.
So there's a
good. Last
mixtape
time
that
ever.
no one. I've been trying. So I lost my copy at uni at some point, but they now go on on Discogs for about 80, 90 quid a piece. They're CDRs. It's called Having Thangs, and it's just Slim Thug and Killer Carleone freestyling over every beat from 2003 that was big. So they're just on like Destiny's Child beats, Busta Rhymes beats, whatever. Oh,
I
no,
feel
it's
like
not. Sorry, no. So the one they sing on is they do I Know What You Want. And Slim Thug does the hook of Baby If You Give It To Me. And he can't sing at all. And it's fucking great. We'll get it on at the end. We'll get
That
it on at
said,
the end.
Busta Rhymes can't sing at all.
Yeah, but Thug is worse. And he also, obviously, Buster probably had some sort of pro Def Jam level
Yeah,
audio.
he would have had a good vocoder, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this kind of ties into what I was going to say on about Thugger just before you made it even more relevant, was about his social media posts lately.
Oh my god, what a guy.
These mixtapes, so there was a post recently where he openly admits he was in a club just on the Eckies, having a lovely time.
That's so funny. It's one of my favorite bits of Thugger footage, because he started with a photo. What I loved about it, he put a photo up of him in a club, just absolutely, I think he said gone off the molly, so it just done loads of MDMA. And his jaw it's on the, like, literally, as I think I commented on it, I was like, it's swinging like something Paul Wall would drive. Like, it's on the other side of the room. And he then followed it up with a clip. He put the actual footage up of him in the club pinging his face off. And I mean, he talks slow when he's sober. And he's also about a foot taller than everyone in the club.
Yeah.
And it's just him rolling around going, "We having a good time, man." Just absolutely gunning his way through a big night out. And he's pretty good. Have you seen his show on YouTube?
No, I don't think so.
So he started doing a documentary on YouTube called, I think it's called Boss Life, and he just films himself on his phone and GoPros or whatever. Like the first one, he went on a cruise to Miami with his family, and then the second one's him buying a new truck. He's been doing them just before. I think he started just before lockdown, but they're just his kind of day to day, and he films it and does these little 15-20 minute things, and I think they're just called Boss Life episode 1, 2, whatever. And they're really funny because he's so, like, he takes the time to make them. Like, he films himself and then someone edits it all together. It's actually quite, for that sort of thing, it's quite well shot.
Yeah.
But he, in typical Thug fashion, sort of seems like he can't be asked. So he's not really partaking, but he is still filming everything and still paying someone to edit it all and assemble it into a watchable documentary. And there's one on the cruise one, he's got his sandals on. And his son's, like, a bit embarrassed. His son's probably about 15, 16. And he's got his sliders on, and his son's a bit embarrassed. And he does this little talk about how, like, you should be proud of your ugly toes. And it's just like, there's just nuggets within it of just, like, wonderful stuff. And he's just sort of on a different stratus to most people. And yeah, he goes and buys the truck. And yeah, there's something hypnotic about him, because he's not really bothered. Like, he's not he's not like an Instagram celeb where they're like, "Hey guys, I'm on a tour with my family and it's great. I love it."
He's not a TV presenter, yeah. He's not trying to be one.
He's sort of like, I'm doing it because I've got to, but I don't want to be here. And I really admire it. It's just kind of textbook, but it's kind of his brand. I don't know if he's aware of it or if it's just him. But he's still bang on brand, and it's really funny. But there's some good ones.
Interesting. Good old Thugger. What a man.
Absolute champ, honestly. I've got so much time. The new album's really good with Killer Kyleon down in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Although it's 28 minutes long.
Yeah, I've not heard it yet.
It's good. I mean, it's good. It's really good, but, like, every track is 2.5 minutes. Like, they've cut everything
they've done it like that.
to the bone.
They haven't done like 6 tracks.
It's like 11 tracks, but it's like every track is like a hook. It's like verse, hook, verse, next track. And some of them I'm like, roll out, just do, run another hook, do another verse. Because some of the beats are great, but they're all 2.5 minutes. And I'm like, by the time I've mixed into that, it's time to mix out again.
They aren't caring about you DJing, mate.
That's true. I mean, I can't DJ, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Also true.
Yes, you aren't caring about you DJing either.
Yeah, that's true. It's the least of my worries. We haven't got any bookings anyway.
That's true. We could probably still.
No, they've all gone. That one summer booking is gone.
I think we could probably still get a booking. Did you hear about? Did you hear about that?
These are doing 99p pints. I'm sure we could just turn up and start playing.
That's true. Did you hear about that gig in somewhere in America? It was like a A-listers like.
Is this the Chainsmokers one?
Yes.
That got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. The warm-up DJ was one of the managing directors of Goldman Sachs.
No. I'm like.
You what the fuck? I mean, just fuck off, all of you. Like, there's not enough money in the music industry anyway, and the warm-up DJ's the fucking co-owner of Goldman Sachs. Like, there's only 50 quid to go around, you prick.
It's like tickets for that thing were between $850 and $2,200.
Oh, God.
For a one-day gig.
Is it bad that I hope they all
in a car, in a drive-through fucking gig?
Yeah, but is it bad that I hope they all die in an auto wreck?
I want to say yes because I feel like there is remorse in everyone, but maybe that's me being too.
I want it to be like David Cronenberg's Crash. Basically, they're going to leave the gig, crash in a horrible auto wreck, and me and Holly Hunt are going to go wank over them. Whatever. Fuck them.
God,
me and Matthew Modine, we'll just be there bashing one out like, yeah, fucking Chainsmokers.
I still can't believe that film got made.
Tories. It's not even that good.
It's awful. It's a bloody terrible film.
It's not terrible. It's better than
It's definitely not good.
It's better than Crash with Don Cheadle.
That's also very true. And that was up for Oscars and stuff.
Pardon?
Wait, or am I thinking of a different Crash?
Wait, what did you... I missed what you said.
It was up for like Oscars and...
Oh, no, it won the Oscars. It's Paul Haggis.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's awful.
Yeah, and it basically normalises rape. I'm pretty sure that's the one where, like... It kind of ends with someone saying, it's my fault, I wound him up. And Paul Haggis has since been done for all the kind of Epstein sexual assault stuff. So it's really not aged well.
God.
It's aged like Don Cheadle's accent in Ocean's 11.
You're giving Don Cheadle a hard time here. He's a very likable person.
Yeah, the thing.
Not a good accent.
I think the reason I hate him a lot is because I see interviews with him and I think, Don Cheadle's a Don. Literally, I like him. He seems like a really good guy, and he's like quite down to earth, quite self-depreciating, and I find him really engaging. And then I watch a film with him in, and he's fucking awful in it.
Yeah.
And he's crap in everything.
I think that's exactly my opinion too.
I'm like, just go do stand-up. Like, I want to see Don Cheadle. I don't want to see you play a character because you can't. Like, just go and play Don Cheadle because you're much better at it.
Yeah.
Bit like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's really good in Con Air because he's playing Dave Chappelle. Just do that. Just go and,
thankfully, he's not really done many films since.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Same as like Russell Brand. Russell Brand's at his best when he's playing Russell Brand.
Apart from Get Him to the Greek.
No, he's great in that because he's Russell Brand.
That's true. Yeah.
When he made that remake of Arthur and he's trying to do an actual character, he's terrible. Like, he should just be Russell Brand in films. Like, it's fine. Russell Brand and P. Diddy running around a hotel, I'll watch it.
Yeah, we had a couple more topics. I kind of switched mine midway through because I think it's quite relevant. Should we go to when stadiums are allowed to open again? Should we go to watch the Orient again?
Yes, I hate football, but I'm up for a day out at the Orient or the Moo.
Because I'm really excited about it. Is that Orient may or may not be getting famous Ivory Coast midfielder Yaya Toure, and that's a big deal. I know you don't give a shit, but that is quite a big deal. So in one of
those other niche moments, I actually know who that is.
Oh right.
Yeah, again, in my 7 footballers that I know, I actually know who Toure is.
All right, so yeah, Yaya Toure.
Right.
Right.
How are Leighton Orient getting Yaya Toure?
So they potentially aren't, but he is currently training. He's currently
Have they offered him a
training
flat?
at.
Have they offered him one of them flats on that corner spick?
I think they might have done. But I don't know. There was just like some day earlier, late last week. I think it was on Friday. Just photos.
That's quite
came
late
up.
last week.
I think it was on the Friday.
In terms of work jobs, that's about as late as you can get.
But like photos just appeared on the Leighton Orient socials because you got to follow them, and it was of Yaya Toure just training in a Leighton Orient training kit, and there was no explanation as to why he was doing it or how it came about. And then a couple of days later, they interviewed, like, it wasn't the chairman, but like someone senior at Leighton Orient. And it's a really funny interview. If you hunt down TalkSport, don't switch this off to do it. Listen after the show. Where he's like, oh yeah, I got a phone call. I thought it was a joke. It's just some lad in Singapore just asking if Yaya Toure can come and train. It was like, oh yeah, all right, come down and I'll do it. And then he didn't get a call for another 3 days. And then he got another one saying, yeah, we're ready to come. Like, let us know when. It's like, oh yeah, just come to the Orient Stadium. Yeah, we'll let you in. And then he just turfed up in a nice car. He didn't tell any of the players that Yaya was coming. He just turfed up. And yeah, started training with the lads.
That's great. It's like, where's Yaya Toure? He's just at Percy Ingles picking up a cheese and ham slice. It'll be with you in 5.
Oh no, he's just putting your cheese and ham slice in a takeaway bag.
He's just turning up with a cheese and ham slice in a takeaway bag that'll be transparent by the time he gets to the stadium.
What a man.
That's brilliant. I didn't know about that.
It's fantastic.
I can't wait to see the Orient again. It'll be
Me
well
too.
good.
It's so much fun.
Still one
Yeah.
of our best days out.
We turned up at half time. That's kind of against the rules.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Keys open doors. Keys open doors.
That's the thing. It wasn't so much keys opening doors. It was like 2 men like opening an emergency exit.
It was more 2 drunks force open fire doors, fire doors. But that's fine. Your mate let us in. It was his fault, really.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. Potentially a game at the Millwall. I'm gonna try and go to Millwall versus Watford if it's open for people to visit. That'd be fun.
I mean, we'll fire up the team. We'll get our digital distro Don Craig in too, and we'll.
Well, yeah, Craig is a Millwall fan, and
That's it.
Dom, of course, as well of the distro team. He is a Watford fan. So
we can go full. Yes, we can go full team.
we could properly beat him up. Me, you, and Craig could just beat the shit out of Dom, and like just playing football hooliganism.
No, could not all 4 of us beat up someone else?
Probably.
All right, let's do that then.
Millwall are always up for a scrap.
I was going to say, I'm sure someone at Millwall wants a fight. It doesn't, it doesn't matter. If we need to break it down, you're mixed race. I've got long hair. Everyone, there'll be someone can fight everyone. There'll be a punch up for everyone.
Yeah.
A full day out for all the family.
Dom will be wearing the wrong kit, and Craig will want to protect us. So yeah, run for a scrap. I don't know. Maybe he'll be ready to kick our ass. I don't know, mate.
I was going to say,
big day out.
It's going to be a big day out. I can't wait for the big day out. Right, on that note, I'm going to get the screen share on.
Yeah. Should we put a tune on before you do your screen share? Or is it like relevant? Should we put a tune on before you do your screen share?
Yeah, alright.
Do you have anything like you fancy?
Alright, so this is a niche, tenuous group of reference links. But I was listening to it earlier today and I forgot how good it is. So
Is it Iron Maiden? Are you going to play a band from Leighton?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm going the other way. I'm going super lazy. I'm basically jumping off the word Orient.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, this might even be okay to play. Link, I'm not sure. But so I watched The Last Emperor, the Bernardo Bertolucci film, which is one of my favourites. It's fucking brilliant. But But there's
The Last
the main
Samurai.
theme from The Last Emperor is fantastic. It's Ryuichi Sakamoto and David Byrne. But there's a track by Kid Koala off the Ninja Tune 10 anniversary LP called Emperor's Main Course. And he's taken the main theme from The Last Emperor and just added sort of some weird narration about killing people. But it's great. It's a beautiful little track. It's really nice. So let's get that on, and then we can get on to Matt's social media surprise after.
Yes. You're gonna have to look for it though, because I have no idea where you.
Yeah, obviously we're doing the clumsy.
Oh, the clumsy you're talking about whilst not typing at the same time.
Found it.
Good man.
Still gotta cue it. We're off.
God.
Don't worry about it, mate. Smooth.
Most of those who believe they should stop find it very difficult to do so. They find it's become a deeply ingrained habit, a habit they can't change just because they want to. I know about these things because I've been through it. We invite you now to listen, and we wish you every success.
However, as a beginner, it's best to just kill everyone as fast as you can by using the pump button.
That was Kid Koala there with Emperor's Main Course, which is a wonderful hippity hop remix of the main theme from The Last Emperor, the Bernardo Bertolucci.
You say
film.
hippity hop.
Yeah.
What the Good Morning Vietnam are you doing?
Mate, man, do you know, it was the anniversary of Robin Williams' death the other day, and that made me really sad
Was it?
too.
Oh, mate, yeah, would have been around now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Williams was one of my heroes from a very early age.
Yeah. God, yeah, he had some absolute gems in his repertoire.
Do you know
Talking about people who can do both the stand up and the acting and the just talking in interviews and being a great human. He's just a proper all rounder.
I hope you're not going to reference "Live in the Sky" by Jamie Foxx and T.I.
No.
Good, because that's one of the worst tunes ever made, and I can't believe T.I. let that go on his album King, which is probably his best album if that track wasn't on it.
Oh, well, gotta get the money somehow.
He had the money before.
Gotta get more.
No, quality control. When you're already stinking rich, just get on the quality control.
That's true. Might have owed Jamie Foxx a favour or vice versa. Anyway, you have one special surprise for me, Matt. Are you asleep?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
You were dozing off there.
No, I was just making a note of the tracks, and then I remembered this
right.
treat. So I'm sharing the old screen now.
Oh right, yeah. Emperor's Main Course.
Big tune. So I was gonna anonymize this, but then it's got 4.2 million views on Twitter. So I thought it's probably not worth me taking the 14 minutes to pixelate the face.
Okay.
But this is a genuine person that posted a genuine thing on Twitter. So I got sent this just before we started recording, so 90 minutes ago, and it was on 4 million views. So it's had 200,000 views in about 2 hours. But I just watched this, and like I actually really have a lot of time for the next generation of social media people, and the younger generation generally. I'm not some old cunt. But I do find this fascinating. Just watch this and we'll chat after.
I just want you back. I'm running to your side, flying my white flag, my white flag. My love, where are you? My love, where are you? Whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so that how the fuck do I get this? How do I get rid of this?
Yeah, there's an end share screen at the top of the thing.
Oh yeah, there you go. We're back. So that was a genuine Twitter user.
I mean, that was a TikTok user.
Sorry,
But it was on-
TikTok. Yeah, but she'd posted it on her Twitter account, and it was about her breakup with her beau.
Yeah.
And it's fucking bad shit. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was gonna pixelate the names and the face out. Then I saw it had 4.2 million views and thought it's probably not worth me wasting my time.
It's seen by 500% more people than the population of Iceland. I think you're okay.
Yeah, it's also been seen by 50,000% more people than watch our fucking show. So I think we're good. But I was like, what? Generally, I just don't. On many levels. She basically, it seems like she instigated the breakup and is then apologising for it the whole way through. I also noticed in the shot where she's in the mirror with him with his arms wrapped around her in a creepy sort of strangle rape way, she's got a Trump 2020 top on, which either explains everything or explains nothing. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, that's confused me more than anything.
I don't know where we stand on that one.
It's a subplot I weren't expecting.
But then, Having followed the Twitter thread as I want to do, because I love a bit of that, turns out they've been back together for a month. But she posted the video anyway, because she'd already made it. And I'm like, is there nothing the younger generation won't sell? Like,
mate.
is there nothing that's not up for grabs? And when she's just pointing and crying a bit, going, oh, look after him. He might be a cunt who doesn't listen to you, but his ignorance is only love in ignoring fact. And I was like, I don't know. I think you're getting into apology levels here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, I don't understand the new world. I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's a confusing one. And I mean, as you know, working in the music industry, you have to learn a bit about these new social media and music-y, platformy things. And yeah, I don't understand anything that goes on in that world. I'm learning. I'm not getting involved. But it's weird. That was especially weird.
Yeah, and you know, this is coming from two men doing a show where we just played Slim Thug and his mates singing the Dukes of Hazzard theme tune. Like, we're not averse to playing things that don't make any sense and doing stuff that totally contradicts all the stuff we pretentiously bang on about. So if anyone should get it, it's us, and I don't. I just don't. I don't know what's happening.
Unless it's like too meta a joke for us. And we've just
no, it's genuine. That's why it's got 4.2 million views.
God.
It's not meta. It's just earnest. And if there's one thing we understand less than meta, it's earnest.
God.
I don't know. I just that's thrown me hugely.
But just because you've done it doesn't mean you need to post it.
I think that's the difference, isn't it? Like it's grief is grief, and everyone processes it in their way. But I think what I find fascinating is now it's like it almost feels in this contemporary context, and I see it with people our age who need to get their Instagram up and popping, and you know, a lot of artists do it. It's like grief doesn't count unless you publicly tell everyone you've dealt with grief. Like, you can't learn anything from a grief that you process internally and privately. It's only real, valuable grief if it gets you some more followers, or if you tell everyone how hard, you know. And I think it's kind of that thing. It's like a kind of a byproduct of that.
The commoditizing everything.
It's just that weird thing of
all
like...
your feelings.
It's like I've talked to my partner Charlotte about it before. Like, obviously I'm an ambassador for an eating disorders charity and do a lot of stuff around that, and it's like those things do so much better than any post where we talk about our new podcast or our fun new record. Like me being earnest and being like, oh, you know, life was hell, this thing went really wrong and I dealt with all this bad stuff. They do really well, and it's like fine. Like, some people need to read that, and it's beneficial for them to know that people out there have made it through. But at the same time, it's like that also negatively reinforces that if you're just doing it for the likes and for the fucking content, you're just going to lean into that sort of material and generate trauma and problems so that you've got some kind of cachet to post with that gets a response. And I think that's where my problem with it stems from. I just think now it's like, if you need to sell a record, kind of looping back to the Kanye discussion earlier, it's like if you need to sell a record, it's not enough to make a really good record and say I worked really hard on it. You have to link it into some mad trauma or some cultural moment. And that's the problem now, because of the algorithmic way in which all this stuff is popularized.
Yeah, like I don't mind it linking to a story if the music itself is about that story. Like if you've like written this album and it's like, you know, a proper kind of freedom fighters album.
Like the Calabash EP has an element of that too.
Yeah, exactly.
But now the problem is people will write something that means absolutely nothing, but then they'll link it to something that's currently popping because it's the only way to push it through the fucking mesh of algorithmic mist and fog that sits on everything now. And that's the problem now. It's become, it's not about who's got the best music or the best approach. It's just about who's got the most relevant shit to talk, or who's causing the most controversy to generate column inches. And Kanye's a master and a victim of that simultaneously.
Yeah, it really is. But then he's not on TikTok, which is probably for the best.
And he hasn't got 4.2 million views for a breakup that they've already resolved and got back together.
I mean, just you wait until the Kim Kardashian Kanye breakup happens.
I mean, I feel like that will happen on TikTok.
Maybe not TikTok, but I feel like it will happen, and quite publicly.
Again, though, this is why I come back to Slim Thug as my beacon of hope. Because whilst everyone's like posting breakups going, trust him, he might treat you like shit and rape you in a kitchen, but he deserves it because he's got floppy hair and a nice branded t-shirt. Thugger's just posting up old videos of him doing too many pingers and gurning his tits off in a club. And there's a refreshing earnestness to that in 2020, where it's like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying, look at my face. Like,
yeah.
And his lyrics are the same. That new one down in Texas and Thug Life earlier this year. There's bits that are just like borderline, but it's like, it just comes from a good place with him. It's just what he does. Like,
yeah.
And I think, I don't know. I've got a lot of time for the simplicity. And like I said, he's got that element of Motorhead or AC/DC. Like, I like Motorhead, I don't like AC/DC. But if you like what he does, every album is just kind of going to be for you. And you don't need too much of that. You only need one or two artists. And Oasis, similar. Oasis never stepped out of the pocket. And if you like what they do, they're all just kind of decent. And I've got time for that. And in this current climate, it takes a particularly brave man to just stick to their guns and just do what they do. And coming back to the already platinum 15 years thing, I feel that's where he learned that, because the more he pushed away from that into like Pharrell beats and like weird R&B weed tunes, just people weren't asked. It's like, we know what we like you for, and it's the less you deviate, the more reliable your albums are.
Yeah.
But
No, I agree.
yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but sort of came back around. I can't even remember how we got back onto Slim Thug from that weird 4 million view video.
To be honest, I think literally everything we talked about can link back to Slim Thug. Like,
I mean,
Wayne Lineker, will he say by Beef? Mate, Thugger on pingers. He was definitely on pingers in Beef.
Mate, if the Thugger was in Beef, he'd be there, gurning his tits off on two pingers with a fishbowl, spilling it on everyone because he's like a foot taller than every human in the club. It'd be brilliant. It'd be beautiful stuff. We should go beefer.
I think we should. That'd be a laugh.
We should track down Lineker.
Mate, finding Wayne right now is the easiest thing ever.
Yeah, I suppose you just turn up in beefer with a bit of coke and you're there.
You just got to turn up to Oyster Beach Club and he'll just take a socially distanced photo with you.
I think we should do a burning chat on the road where we nip out to beefer and find Lineker.
I mean, that is the easiest task ever. I think we should probably do it.
I think we should do it in the off season.
I really don't. Well, he comes back to the UK in the off season, I think. I might be wrong about that.
Well, that would make the job even funnier. We'll just wander
That's
around
true,
and piss for a week on our own.
We'll see him in Essex somewhere.
And get absolutely nowhere.
That would be quite fun, just bombing it around Essex trying to find Wayne Lineker.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We could go take over that. What's that bar? The Sunrise one. Pikes. We could go take over Pikes whilst it's shut.
I don't know Pikes.
Pikes is where Artwork plays. Arthur plays Pikes every summer.
All right.
It's actually one of the only good clubs left.
Is it still called that, or is that like Is that now what Sankey's is?
No, I'm pretty sure it's still Pikes.
Okay. I remember seeing Ollie Scream at Sankey's, and I think he was doing quite a few shows there. When I also saw him.
He was like, I think he was a Sankey's resident this year, just gone. But no, Pikes is a different one, but Pikes is decent. Pikes is alright.
Alright.
Right, shall we sign it off?
I think we should. I think you're ready for bed.
Mate, I'm done. I'm done in it.
Yeah,
shall we end with something from the Enter the Dragon soundtrack? Because John Saxon died this week.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we should. That'll be a nice
love
nice
Enter the
end for a
Dragon.
great man.
It's one of my all-time favourite films. John
Is it
Saxon's
one
a
that you watch
dog.
at Christmas?
He's basically Sean Connery in Bond films if Sean Connery wasn't lazy. Like that's it. But I mean the whole of Enter the Dragon, so we'll have a little chat about Enter the Dragon quickly.
Go on.
I mean obviously our initial logo was based on Jim Kelly from Enter the Dragon. So we've got roots in that end. But the whole thing is a Bond rip-off. Like Bruce Lee's basically a spy. And there's I love the tenuous. He goes at the very start of the film. Bruce Lee goes, "Guns. What about guns? Why doesn't someone just pull out a .45 and bang, settle it?" And the guy who's recruiting him from the British military goes, "No guns. Han tried to be assassinated once, and he's fearful of guns, so you can't have one." And it's like, oh yeah, that's that then. No, they turn up to the island on a junk. There's no metal detectors. They turn up on a Chinese junk boat. It's like you could totally bring in a whole bag of guns and just shoot everyone. But they bid them up because there'd be no good fights.
Yeah.
But John Saxon's literally got... I think him and Connery might share the same toupee from Never Say Never Again, when Connery's like really fat and overweight and got the worst comb over. But Saxon's basically got the same comb over, but he can actually do a bit of karate. And on that, Never Say Never Again, Sean Connery's stunt coordinator and martial arts teacher was Steven Seagal.
Oh dear.
Or was it Diamonds Are Forever? It was one of the late ones where Connery was fat and bald and bored. But,
And Seagal was fat and bald and bored.
Yeah. John Saxon is basically Sean Connery if he could actually be asked with being a film star and did a bit of karate. But what really upset me...
We can't talk about Enter the Dragon without talking about some of the scenes. The most iconic, the Room of Mirrors thing.
No, the most iconic is just Jim Kelly going, "Bullshit, Mr. Head."
Oh yeah.
And, man, you come right out of a comic book. But as I said before, when we were talking about the Purple City logo, the reason I took that image was because initially in the original script, John Saxon's character was going to be Jim Kelly. So Jim Kelly had all the major martial arts fights and was like Bruce Lee's sidekick. But Saxon's agent apparently kicked off and was like, no, if Saxon's in, he's playing this character. And of course, unfortunately, Saxon was a white guy in the 70s. So he ended up getting the primary, and Kelly got done in the acid bath. But it's a great film. I do love that film. I love how simple it is. And yeah, I love Bruce Lee anyway, but that totally showed that he could have absolutely cleaned up in Hollywood had he have not died before it even came out.
Yeah.
But I like Saxon in it because he's capable at martial arts, but he's not that good. And he gets beat up for a bit before he starts winning. And Jim Kelly's clearly better than him, and those two are old Vietnam buddies, so they got a few gambling hustles going on. And I also just love that everyone's kind of looks like a martial artist, and then John Saxon just looks like a guy in his pajamas with a comb over. And he's just a fucking boss, isn't he? Like, he just looks. And he also plays the mayor in Dusk Till Dawn. You know when they shoot up the liquor store at the beginning, it cuts to the mayor on the TV doing the interview saying, "We're going to catch these guys."
All right.
Yeah, it's John Saxon again.
Okay, I don't remember that well, but I remember the scene where they shoot the place up. So, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I'll look
yeah.
at it next time I
Check
watch
it
it.
again. And Saxon's. I like that they got Saxon in for that little. And he did
Hmm.
some other good. He did a couple of good. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. He did a couple of good crap martial arts. But yeah. Let's sign off and get a Enter the Dragon tune on. It's been a pleasure, mate, as always.
Yeah.
Burning
I've
Chat
been,
episode 5.
It's 5 or 6, I forget.
Yeah, something like. Oh no, we still got that one. We still got that Ja Rule one to get up.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll just chuck that into the atmosphere tomorrow and get this edited.
Mm.
But yeah. So that was Burning Chat. Thanks for listening. Here's a bit of the Enter the Dragon soundtrack. I'm just going to clumsily cue it up whilst Ash covers for me. Ash, say some stuff.
As you all know very well, that as well as Enter the Dragon, a track from Enter the Dragon coming on very shortly, we also have an EP coming out on the 4th of September. So you should pick up your copy. You can get it from our Bandcamp page as a pre-order, and of course when it's out, it'll be in your local record store as well. But it's worth a listen. It's lovely. Also, if you buy on the Bandcamp, you can get yourself a little T-shirt. Very nice. How you doing that queuing up there?
We're going to do two because they're quite short. We're going to do the Enter the Dragon theme tune followed by Sandman's, which is one of my favourite bits from the soundtrack. Lalo Schifrin on the boards.
Well, then I'll hold my sign off until we're there.
Actually, whilst I'm thinking about it, we're going to double up. So we're going to do the Enter the Dragon theme tune followed by Sampans, and then I'm going to play a dub reggae tune by Herman Chin Loy called Oily. And I'm pretty sure that he's taken, it's kind of like a dub version of this track, but I don't know how official it is. I don't know if I'm just hearing it thinking it's definitely this, or if it really is just a dub. I'll play after this, we'll talk about it.
But you're aware that that's not
again.
doubling up, it's tripling up.
We'll do 2 sign-ups. Let's just hear the bangers. That... That was Herman Chin Loy with Oily. How much does that sound like Sampans from the Enter the Dragon soundtrack?
And I can't hear part of it, but it does have definite elements of it. I feel like it may have dipped into
just to
something.
echo your sentiments in the Zoom group chat, I can't believe there's not a Confederate flag emoji either, Ashley. We may be going to hell.
Does whatever laptop that you use, does that also pick up emojis? Because I sent an emoji after saying bloody and then the snowflakes emoji.
Where was that?
Or after it says emoji on what I've typed.
No, it just says emoji.
Hasn't
Oh,
even got the word
no,
bloody.
it is there. It's a snowflake. Yeah, got it.
How many have you had?
Seeing it. Loads. Mate, I'm fucking caned. Yeah, no, I had a bottle on the way home, and then I've had 4 pint bottles of Asahi since. Yeah, I've had 6 pints in 2 hours.
You seem like you're a bit all over the shop. Good work.
I'm all over the shop. Look, I've got me Make America Great Again. Pardon? Never mind all that. What were we going out on? What was the final track?
I don't know, you had like 7 tracks from Enter the Dragon to play.
No, we've been through them. They're all 1 minute each.
You were like doubling up, and then he was like, this is the 3rd track.
Well, no, just each one led me on to another banger. Yeah, I think you should pick what we go out on. What are you saying?
Should I? Oh right. Okay. Let's have a little peruse. Hang on. I wasn't expecting to be put on the spot like this.
It's all right. I can talk over it.
You know what I will
cue
play?
something up. I'm used
Pipe
to
down.
it.
I was going to play because the Mercuries are out, the nominations, and an album that I think is genuinely fantastic is the Moses Boyd album. It's up for nomination.
Has that been Mercury nominated?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
right.
I think
Good.
it is.
It should
genius.
fucking win.
Really
What
should.
else is on the list?
There are some decent albums on there. There's the Michael Kiwanuka album's really good. That's on there. The Georgia album's on there. A few others I forget now. But when I saw Moses was on there, I was like,
none of those have touched me like the Moses Boyd album.
The Michael Kiwanuka one almost did, but this Moses
Which
Boyd
one's that?
one.
That's not August Sun or whatever it's called.
No, it's called Kiwanuka.
Oh, that one.
It's-
Oh, that, is that
It's
still this year?
it's all produced by Danger Mouse. It's a really
Yeah,
good
but is
album.
that this year? That feels like it came out about 400 years ago.
It would have been like summer last year. I think it was like just crept in.
Sorry, yeah, that's just this year's just felt really fucking long.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good record actually. I think I still prefer the Moses Boyd one though.
I think so too. But this is Shades of You
Yes.
by Moses Boyd.
Oh mate,
featuring
this is.
Proper
I think
duo.
this might be my tune of the year. You know.
Mm.
Anyway, it's been lovely, Ashley.
Yeah. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Well done as always.
Give away all my colors.
fuck it,
I'm
this is
left
fucking
with
lovely.
shades of blue.
Absolutely.
Can't handle your
Big love, mate.
darkness, but they want
after
all the
yourself.
shades of you.
Have a lovely sleep.
Mate, I'm gonna sleep like a corpse.